PlayStation's Pulse Elite wireless headset is here, but is it actually any good? Well, I've already spent hours using this on a variety of games and will be sharing my full thoughts with you throughout this video. I'll also be giving my recommendations for the best settings to make sure you're experiencing the Pulse Elite headset to the fullest. It's definitely worth sticking around to see those. As with all recent PlayStation products, it ships in environmentally friendly packaging with those satisfying quick peeling tabs to get into the box. I also want to say a huge thank you to PlayStation for providing me with the Pulse Elite headset ahead of launch and partnering with me to make this video possible. Rest assured, all opinions are still my own. The headset costs $150 to about £129 for us UK folk, and the first link in the description will take you to the product page if you're interested in learning more after hearing my impressions. Anyway, the first thing you see when sliding off the exterior box are the main instructions for the buttons on the headset and how to pair it with different devices. I love how front and center these are to ensure you don't miss them, but I'll be showing these features off in more depth later. Beneath that, you'll find the headset itself and a PlayStation Link adapter. Ever since I first saw the adapter in person, I've absolutely loved the glossy little PlayStation icons that cover it. They just look so cool. The adapter will already be paired with your headset too, so it really is just a case of plugging it into your PS5 and letting PlayStation's Link technology do the rest. Just like the adapter, the headset also looks stunning, and I love how it matches the colours and futuristic design of the PlayStation 5 console. Now beneath this part of the packaging, you'll find the safety guide, and if you take the part that held this and unclip it from that taller bit of cardboard, we're then able to access the accessories that come with the headset. Just pull the tab towards the hole in front of it, and the rest of the packaging will then unravel to reveal the wireless charging headset hanger and the USB-A to USB-C charging cable. Oh, and you will also notice that the charging dock is covered in tiny PlayStation icons too, which looks really nice. The whole fact that this charging dock comes with the Elite for free is really awesome in itself, but I'll speak more on this when we get around to discussing battery life. Anyway, going back to the headset, on the right hand side you can find the buttons for adjusting volume, then the USB-C charging port, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and the power button which doubles as a PS Link button. On the left hand side is where you'll find a microphone, and if you place your fingers on the PlayStation icons on the top and bottom of it, you can then pull it out so that when you're speaking in a party chat, it's nearer to your mouth, which will help with that AI enhanced noise reduction and overall clarity of your voice. Then when you finish with the mic, you can retract it back in so that it's out of the way, and it also makes it easier to store. I will be doing a full test of this microphone and its noise reduction tech later in the video, so stay tuned for that. I should also mention that there is a mute button directly on the mic, and when muted, the LED next to it will glow orange. The mute button on the PS5's DualSense does also work with the Elite headset, as does the ability to control the volume directly using the FN buttons and D-pad on the DualSense Edge. Moving on to comfort, the ear cups the headset uses are extremely well padded, and even from only holding it, I think you can tell that there won't be any comfort issues when wearing this. I did have a lengthy 5-hour session on Helldivers 2 whilst using it, and I never felt any signs of discomfort at all, which I have felt with other headsets in the past. Fun fact, that session of Helldivers was actually just meant to be around 3 hours long, but the game is that fun to play that my squad struggled to stop. Let me know in the comments if you've played it yet, and if so, if you've also found that to be the case. Drop a like whilst you're down there too. Anyway, with games like Helldivers being as hard to put down as they are, it's a really good job that the Pulse Elite headset is as comfortable as it is, so I can continue having longer gaming sessions like this. I have also noticed that in addition to the cups being super plush, they have a wide range of motion too, so they can tilt up, down, left and right. Yet another great comfort feature is the fact that the lower headband automatically moves up and down, adjusting itself to match your head shape and ensure the perfect fit regardless of how big or small your head is. That said, it might still be a little big for Astrobot here, but for us human gamers, it's absolutely perfect. Anyway, during that 5-hour session of dishing out democracy and Helldivers, I never felt the weight of the headset at all, presumably because of this band keeping the feel of it lightweight. I think it's pretty clear that PlayStation have taken all user feedback on board from the Pulse 3D headset and have improved upon everything here to make one of the most comfortable and stylish PS5 headsets available. It really is a huge step forward in the comfort department. However, it it obviously doesn't matter how comfortable the headset is if the sound quality sucks, and thankfully it really doesn't. That said, for it to be at its best, you do need to make sure you find the perfect position for the headset's ear cups. So the first time you put this on, get yourself into a game with some sort of constant ambient sound and adjust the cups on the headset backwards and forwards a little until you find that sweet spot. It's also important that in your PS5 sound settings, you go to the 3D audio for headphones tab and listen to each of the different audio profiles to see which sounds best to you. The choice here is entirely dependent on your own ears, so I can't exactly tell you the best option like I can with some of the other settings in this video. For testing this and finding that perfect headset positioning, I used Astro's Playroom because the soundtrack is an absolute banger, and when you do find that sweet spot, wow, that sound quality hits well. So far, I've played about 5 different games using the headset, and in each one, I felt like I was hearing things that I'm sure I've never heard before. One specific example is a certain high-frequency screech from clickers in The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered that has never sounded that terrifying to me in the past. I also noticed that with the bassy explosions, I was hearing way more detail in those sound effects rather than just a single bang, and it felt like I could hear each individual bit of debris colliding with the next surface that it came into contact with. Now, I believe that I've noticed these things because of the new planar magnetic drivers that the Pulse Elite headset uses. These planar drivers are made from just one very thin piece of film, and so with the system being much simpler than regular dynamic drivers, distortion is practically eliminated, thus resulting in audio that's extremely crisp and accurate. Honestly, the clarity of audio you get with the Elite is significantly ahead of any device that uses traditional dynamic driver audio tech, and it's really made me want to go back and replay some of my favourite games with this headset. All that said, as much as you'll undoubtedly be impressed when you first use the Elite, there are actually a few software side tweaks you can make to somehow elevate the audio experience even further. By triple tapping the PS Link button on the headset, you'll be brought into the PS5 sound menu where you can adjust the equalization. I've spent a while in this menu tweaking each frequency level across a range of games, and I've come to the conclusion that the bass boost preset is the best universally sounding option here. It provides a perfect balance between a game's vocals, soundtrack, and gameplay sound effects, ensuring you hear everything to the fullest. Those mega huge explosions in Helldivers 2 now sound perfectly bassy, and paired with the controller's haptic feedback, you can really feel them, and the immersion is just next level. It also ensures that each explosion sounds great without overpowering other sounds amongst the chaos. The engine sounds in Gran Turismo 7 also greatly benefit from this, allowing you to appreciate Polyphony Digital's attention to detail and love for cars even more. I should also mention that if you're looking for a competitive advantage in shooters, try the shooter preset, as that specifically increases the audibility of footsteps and distant gunshots. For everything else though, music included, I will be sticking with the bass boost preset. It's worth noting that when the headset switches between being paired with different devices, it does also remember the last EQ settings that you had applied. On that note, now feels like a good time to speak about how well the Elite works as a universal headset across not only all of your PlayStation devices, but also your PC, MacBook, and even mobile phone. As shown earlier, the PlayStation Link adapter allows you to easily connect the headset to your PS5, but this also enables you to be able to connect it to your PC or Mac and experience that same low latency, high quality audio. To do this, it's as simple as unplugging the Link adapter, plugging it into a PC or Mac, and then turning the Pulse Elite headset on with the power button. You'll then receive all audio through the headset and can also use a microphone. If you want, you can even purchase extra PS Link adapters to make switching between these devices even easier. Pairing the headset with a new PS Link adapter works in the exact same way that it does when pairing it with a PS Portal, and to do that, you first power on your headset, then hold the Link button for 8 seconds until the light flashes blue. You'll hear a noise to confirm this too. Now, tap the PS Link button on the Portal or second Link adapter to search for the connection, and you should see that it connects successfully pretty much right away. When you want to switch it back to your PS5, hold the headset's Link button for another 2 seconds so it blinks white, and you should see a notification on the PS5 to confirm that it has found around it. You then just tap the PS button and confirm the connection. It's as easy as that. I should mention that if you are switching the connection back to a Mac or PC though, then the final step is a little different as there is no notification. Instead, you have to quickly press the PS Link adapter button and it'll then show a solid white LED to indicate the connection has been successfully re-established. Another really cool feature that the Pulse Elite headset has is dual device connectivity, meaning it can Bluetooth to a mobile device at the same time as a PS Link device. Establishing that Bluetooth connection works very similarly to a new PS Link connection, as you hold the PS Link button for 8 seconds and then search for the Pulse Elite headset in the Bluetooth menu of your phone or tablet. Oh, and if you want to change the name of the headset from Pulse Elite to anything else, then go to your PS5 settings, then accessories, then down to headsets and edit the device name here. I've just added my name in front of it so that if anyone else around me ever has one, I don't end up connecting to theirs by accident. Anyway, once connected to your mobile device, you'll now be able to chill and play games whilst watching YouTube videos on your phone with extremely crisp audio from each. I'm sorry in advance if you choose to watch any of mine and get so distracted that you end up dying in whatever it is that you're playing. To help counter that though, you can independently control the volume of each connection too by using the controls on the headset for the PS Link connection and the controls on your mobile device for the Bluetooth connection. As you are now connected to your mobile device too, that does also mean you can take phone calls through the headset whilst playing games. You do still have to answer using your phone itself though, as there isn't any way to do so using the Elite's onboard controls. I hope in the future this can be added via the software update, as I think double tapping the link button could work well for this, so I'd love to see it implemented. That said, once you have answered the call, the experience is excellent on both ends and you can chat with these whilst continuing to play your games and hearing the sound from each. Your phone will be using the Pulse Elite's retractable microphone too, and that leads us nicely into checking out the audio quality of the mic.
So what you're hearing now is me using the microphone on the headset in a nice and quiet environment. With the new AI-enhanced noise reduction tech though, this shouldn't even matter all that much, so let's turn on a vacuum about 2 meters away from me and see what difference that makes. Thanks to this noise reduction, you can hardly hear the vacuum at all, and I can even start crumpling food packets directly next to the microphone, and still that noise is barely noticeable. In fact, I bet to some of you it's completely inaudible.
Personally, I think the mic is really quite impressive for a gaming headset at this price point, but let me know in the comments what you think to it by rating it out of 10. For comparison's sake, this is how loud all that background noise is when using a mic without that AI enhanced noise reduction. Just notice how much louder all that background noise is when I'm using my regular YouTube microphone. So yeah, it's safe to say it does the job quite well. When it comes to retracting the mic, I find that for me personally, it does require both hands to put back, so you don't end up knocking the left ear cup off of your ear, but maybe that's just me. Regardless, I can't think of many scenarios where this would be a serious issue anyway. Also, it's useful to know that if you want to be able to monitor your own voice when in a party chat, then under the audio output options in your console settings, you can increase the side tone level, which means what your microphone picks up will be played back to you in real time. This should help you make sure that you aren't screaming too loudly when playing with your friends, but I think I just do that anyway. Moving on, another important factor of headsets is the battery life, and the Pulse Elite does well here too. If you're just using the headset with one device, you can expect to get up to 30 hours before needing to charge. For a headset that sounds as good as this does, I'd say that's quite decent, and it will get you through every gaming session you ever have. That's further ensured by the fact that it ships with that free wireless charger that doubles as a headphone hanger, so if you put the headset back on this each time you finish playing, you'll find that you're good to go for a 20 to 30 hour session every single time you pick it back up. I'd even argue that after the sound quality, this is my next favourite feature on the whole headset. I hate getting ready to jump into a game only to find out that my headset's dead, and this does completely eliminate that issue. It is relatively easy to install as well, as all you need to do is drill a hole to put a screw in to keep the mounting plate secure, and then slide the headphone hanger onto that. Once you've got the Elite headset placed on the hanger, you can expect it to take around 2.5 hours for a full charge, or just 10 minutes to get 2 hours of use. To see your headset's battery life, you can check under the connected devices UI, or you can look at the battery life indicator next to the power button when you turn it on or off. Overall, PlayStation's Pulse Elite headset is an excellent addition to the growing array of PS5 accessories and devices. It's a good step up from the Pulse 3D, so I do think it's worth upgrading to if you're questioning that. It's also definitely worth worth the extra money if you're a first-time buyer trying to decide between the two products, and if you've never used a headset with planar magnetic drivers before, this thing will blow your mind. It really does let you experience your games as the developers intended. If you are interested, you can purchase and learn even more about the headsets via the first link in the description, and again, a huge thank you to PlayStation for making this video possible. If the headset form factor isn't really for you though, then you might be interested in the Pulse Explore earbuds, and you can see my honest review of those by clicking the video on screen now. Also, please drop a like if you found any of the information in this video useful. I'd really appreciate it.